brought to you in part by Resourceful Realty, your full-service resource on the Grand Strand.
We all have our favorite actors. I know I do. But I don't want to see the same actor in every movie that I watch. I want to see fresh faces. I want to see new talent and what that new talent can bring to this wonderful art form we call the motion picture. And I believe there's a lot of talent out there that's hidden. In season 1, we cast live castings in Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We also held online castings nationally and globally. All in all, we had over 2,500 people try out for parts in A Carolina Christmas. Join us as we search for the next movie star.
Oh, thank you so much for coming here. I know it's all to see me.
What's the biggest misconception about this industry? Everything. So as we come through, we're good? Okay. All right, we're gonna roll with this. In episode 1, we found Tashandra, Ben, and Julie. In this episode, we're searching for Charlie and Erika. Charlie is in his 70s, he's retired, he's an ex-Army Ranger. He's a pretty tough guy. He's a little bit bitter with the world, and for some reason. Erika, she's 17 to 19 of German descent, which plays out later on in the movie. She's also a little upset with the world, and for very good reason. These two characters, their paths cross, and like carbon steel on flint, there's always sparks. They both have the same personality, but yet they don't see it, which leads to a lot of clash. But inside that type of a relationship, can they learn from one another? And better yet, can they help to save Christmas in Paradise, South Carolina? Let's begin our search for Erika. Let's see if you pick the same one we did.
Natalie Goretti,
And where are you from?
Charlotte, North Carolina,
And your age?
19.
And you're reading for the part of?
Bakery Worker 1.
Okay, you're gonna read against Heather.
Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Anytime you're ready.
My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring is broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage that. Is there a time frame?
Before my grandma arrives, it was hers.
How is he supposed to know when your grandma is arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good, and they can't communicate, always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with technology. Might do you some good to get your nose out of those 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
Good. Now we'll go to scene 2.
I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Thank you.
I also bought you a little something.
Very good. Have you done some acting?
No.
No?
No.
Theater, anything?
Nope.
Well, you did good.
Thanks.
What do you do in day-to-day life?
I actually work at the public library, the children's library, and I'm in school, so.
Okay, what are you going to school for?
English, film studies minor, most likely, so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Do you have an acting background?
I
I do. I've been acting since I was 3, like in school plays, community theater, at my church. And then about a couple years ago, I started dabbling in it in like the TV realm.
Nice.
So,
What's your favorite?
oh, my favorite? Like, you mean TV versus theater? Oh, TV, hands down, because it's more real.
Yes.
You miss every shot you don't take. I know that's probably like everybody's life motto, but it's so true, which is why I'm here. Amber Early,
And where are you from?
Charleston, South Carolina.
And you're reading for the part of?
Baker Worker 1.
Okay, anytime you're ready, you'll read against Susan.
My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring is broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage that. Is there a time frame?
Before my grandmother arrives, it was hers.
How is he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good and they cannot communicate, always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It's your alarm. Problem with old people these days, they don't keep up with technology. Might do you some good to get your nose out of the 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
Good, good. We'll go to scene 2.
I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts, but hurry up and eat it before we get caught.
Thank you.
Oh, I also bought you a little something.
Good, good. Have you done a lot of acting?
Give and take since I was like 3. More theater acting versus like film. But then after like college and stuff, I wanted to break away from theater and move.
Have you done film or TV?
I've done some background and I've done some featured work, but like no speaking lines yet.
Okay, okay. Did you drive up here from Charleston for this?
I did.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up and thank you for your interest.
Absolutely.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
I'm here with Ainsley, and where are you from, Ainsley?
I'm from Ellenboro, North Carolina.
Well, what drew you to come to the audition today?
Actually, I was at Myrtle Beach in the movies, and there was an advertisement before Toy Story 4, and I was like, that looks fun. I live near Charlotte, so we decided to come out today.
Marked the date.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, good. Do you have an acting background?
I do. I started doing theater when I was 3 years old, and I'm now in school in a BFA program for acting, so
Awesome.
I decided to head out and test my luck.
Good for you.
Ainsley Leaderfind.
And where are you from?
I'm from Ellenboro, North Carolina.
And how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
And you're reading for the part of?
Bakery worker number 1.
Okay, you'll read against Susan anytime you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Mom says I broke the spring, but I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring is broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage that. Is there a time frame?
Before my grandma arrives, it was hers.
Now, how's he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good and they can't communicate, always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with technology. It might do you some good to get your nose out of those popular mechanics of the 1970s and learn some new technology.
Good, good. Now, scene 2.
Okay. I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Thank you.
Also, I brought you a little something.
Very good.
Thank you.
Did you just get that here or did you get it through?
This script, I got it here today.
So you just got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
How long have you been acting?
Since I was about 3 years old, yes, sir.
Have you been in any film, TV?
No, sir, unless you count home video.
No, okay, well, that's fine. How about theater, stage?
I've been doing theater, stage, in my community since I was about 12, and I am a BFA in acting at Liberty University, so I'm trying to pursue it as a career.
So it's your passion and what you want to do for your
Yes, sir.
forever, right?
I'd like to.
It's the bug that you can't get rid of.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Well, you did good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Do you have some acting in your background?
Oh, absolutely. I actually minored in it in college, and then I do a lot of community theater at home and in Charlotte.
Nice. What's the your favorite show, musical, or part that you've played?
Oh, I think that would probably have to be when I was in Greece. I got to be one of the Pink Ladies, which was
Love it.
super exciting and super fun because I'm naturally not a mean person. So getting to play somebody who was a little rougher and tougher was fun.
What part did you play?
I was Marty.
Marty. Can you give us a little example of Marty?
Okay. Oh, Freddie Strolka is so cute. I wish he were here right now because I just miss him so much. He's in the Army, and he gives me all of these pretty jewelry things, and I can't wait till I turn 18 and we can get married. Reagan, England.
And where are you from?
I am from Asheboro, North Carolina.
Okay, and your age?
22.
Okay, and you're reading for the part of?
Bakery worker number 1.
Okay, you're going to read against Susan, okay?
Wonderful, great.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay. My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Have at it.
Does it work?
If it was working, do you think he'd be looking at it? It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring is broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage that. Is there a time frame?
Before my grandma arrives. It was hers.
Now, how's he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? Trouble with these kids today. Manners are not too good and they can't communicate. Always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It was your alarm. Old people these days. They just don't know how to keep up with technology. It might do you some good to get your nose out of the 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
Good. Scene 2.
All right. I brought you something.
What?
Coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Thank you.
I also bought you a little something.
Good. Have you done film and TV before?
A little. I do more theater work, but I've been an extra in a variety of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did good.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, and you have a good evening.
You too.
Have you done acting before today?
Not on screen. Back in high school, I used to do theater plays, stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's where the acting bug bit you was in school?
Yeah. Caroline Steele,
And where are you from?
North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
And what part will you be reading for?
Bakery worker 1,
And your age?
20.
Okay. Anytime
Okay,
you're ready,
whenever
we'll read
you're
against
ready.
Schwinn.
My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring is broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage that, if there's a time frame.
Before my grandma arrives, it was hers.
How is he supposed to know when your grandma is arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good and they can't communicate. Always on their phones.
I don't work on apps or programming.
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with the technology. Might do you some good to get your nose out of those 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
Want to go to scene 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I brought you something.
Oh.
Some coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Oh, thank you.
I also brought you a little something.
Good. Now, if I could have you read one part again, and I want you to be just a little bit more forceful.
Okay.
Okay? Do you know any of this by heart yet, or by memorization? Even like just like 2 or 3 lines?
Well, which part exactly? I could
Like
probably...
the first of it, second of it, it doesn't matter, just any of it. And it doesn't have to be verbatim, but just like the general aspect of it, the outline of it.
I mean, kind of.
Okay, I want you to read without reading on the paper, being yourself. I want you to be a little bit more aggressive, but I don't want you reading from a paper.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you hit the words perfectly every time or exactly, just the scene.
Your own words.
Okay.
So you've dropped the clock off that you broke, but you're not going to admit it. And so the guy's sitting there, and then this old retired guy who's real cantankerous walks in. You guys butt heads through the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And so when he walks in, he sees what you've done, and he states it, and it is correct. But then you get one over on him by when his phone breaks. It's old people these days, you know, because he's just said young people these days. So you guys are both alike, but different ages, same personality, and that's how that works in the script.
Okay.
I want you to just act that out. If you want to, you know what? Just ad lib this. I'll play both the shopkeep and the guy that walks in, but you're going to ad lib it. Just throw the paper away.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay. And I just want you to carry on the car. You've brought it in. We're just going to carry on a conversation, and then I'll throw in to where I'm the other guy walking in, and it may be at a different time, but just go ahead.
Okay. My mom thinks I broke the spring, but I just think it's old and rusty.
Well, can I take a look at it?
Knock yourself out.
Yeah. It looks like the spring's been broke.
Well, it's old.
Now this is the old guy coming in. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what you've done. You broke it. You overwound it.
Can you fix it or not?
Well, I can take a look at it, but I can't promise anything. When do you need this by?
Can you get it done before my grandma arrives? It was hers.
How's he supposed to know when your grandma's coming? Kids these days, no manners, no rules. They don't really do anything, just got their nose in the phone all the time. My phone's going off. I can't get it to stop. So you grab the phone.
Old people these days, they can't keep up with new technology. Maybe if you got your head out of your 1970s mechanics, then you'd be able to figure things out like that.
Good. Good. That's good.
Okay.
The other part's fine.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay.
So, good. Thank you very much.
Hey there, Jade. Jade just said this is so much fun, and that's what we like to hear. So tell us about yourself, Jade.
My name's Jade. I live here locally in the Myrtle Beach. I'm originally from the upstate of South Carolina. But, yeah.
Where are you originally from?
The upstate, it's called Pickens. It's a little small town made up of just a little few people, but we're all pretty good folks up there.
Absolutely. I grew up in upstate, too. Well, it's in Gaffney. Well, it's so good to have you here. If you could have any part in this world, type of part, what would it be?
What do you mean?
Like if you got cast in a role as a character, what types of characters can you really see yourself playing and portraying?
Okay, so I'm super cheesy and love all the Hallmark movies. So the girl that falls in love with the guy, that gets the guy in the end, maybe have some rough patches through it, but all in all, you know, the girl that falls in love.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for coming.
Perfect. Thank you. Y'all have a great day. My name is Jade Haley Prince. I was born and raised in Pickens, South Carolina, and I'm going for Bakery Worker 1.
Great. Anytime you're ready.
Okie dokie. My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Let me take a look.
Knock yourself out.
Does it work?
If it works, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring is broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I might could manage that. Do you have a time frame you need it back by?
Before my grandma arrives. It was hers.
How's he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? Trouble with these kids today. Manners are not too good and they can't communicate, always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It's just your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with technology. Might do you some good to get your nose out of those 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Want to go down to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Scene 2. I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
I also brought you a little something.
Good.
Cool.
Good. You say you live here now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been here for about 2 years.
Yeah, what do you do?
I work as a dental assistant, actually right here in the Market Commons.
Okay.
And I'm right over here for school, going to be a dental assistant. Or no, a dental hygienist.
Yeah. It's a great school.
Yeah, I love it. I just got accepted into the program.
Oh,
so I'm very
congratulations.
thankful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Should I give this back to you?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Shay Dennison, and I'm reading for Bakery Worker 1. Thank you so much. My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. Spring's broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage that. Is there a time frame?
Before my grandma arrives? It was hers.
How is he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good and they can't communicate. Always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It was your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with technology. Might do you some good to get your nose out of the 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology. I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Thank you.
I also bought you a little something.
I am here with MK today. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's been an early morning. Oh, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
What's your full name?
Yes, so my full name is Mary Catherine Alford. It was going to be Mary Kate, but then my sister was named Ashley, so that would have been an issue with Mary Kate and Ashley thing.
Yes.
So we went for Mary Catherine.
So it's down to MK. And where are you from?
I'm from Columbus, Georgia. It's about 2 hours south of here.
Well, thank you for coming out on this early morning for the audition. Tell me, are you excited about the audition process?
I am so excited. I'm a recent graduate from a school in New York City, and so I'm back home, and this is my first audition since being home, and it feels good, and everyone is really excited to be here, and you're so nice, and everyone's been so nice, so yeah. Mary Catherine Alford.
And where are you from?
I'm from Columbus, Georgia.
And you're reading for the part of?
Bakery worker number 1.
And your age?
22.
Okay. Anytime you're ready.
My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Well, can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Well, I mean, does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring's broke. So you wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I mean, I think I can manage that. Is there a time frame?
before my grandma arrives. It was hers.
Well, how's he supposed to know when your grandma is arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good and they don't communicate. I mean, they're always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with technology. Maybe if you got your head out of those 1970s popular mechanics, keep up with some new technology.
Good. Now we'll go to scene 2.
I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts. You better hurry up and eat them before you get caught.
Thank you.
And I bought you a little something.
Good. Good.
Good.
Sorry
Good.
about
No,
That's
that
good
was
timing.
good. You applied through.
I did, yeah.
I remember your read.
Oh,
Very
wow.
good. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very good. That was good.
Okay.
I think you're good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
And
you so much.
Hey, Katrina, how are you?
Great, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, but I now live in Atlanta.
Very good. Are you down here pursuing acting?
I am, yes, packed up and moved for it.
Good for you. How long have you been down?
About 3 years now.
Fantastic. Well, what are your favorite types of parts?
I like really anything that's going to challenge me. I like to find those characters where I really have to dig and find our similarities and really dive deep into the character backgrounds. I find it very interesting, and I love to read and everything, so that's a very exciting process for me, is finding, complicated characters that have a little bit of an interesting background.
Well, great. Well, go do it. You're living your dream. You moved down here to pursue acting, and look where you are today. You're doing it. So, thank you.
Thank you. I am Katrina Rarick.
And where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
And your age?
26.
Okay. And you're going to be reading for the part of?
Bakery Worker 1.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay. Mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
I mean, does it work?
If it was working, would he be looking at it? It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The spring's broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I don't know. I mean, I think I can manage it. Is there a time frame?
Just sometime before my grandma arrives. It was hers.
How is he supposed to know when your grandmother's arriving? Trouble with these kids today. Manners are not good and they can't communicate. They're always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It's your alarm. Old people, am I right? They don't keep up with modern technology. It might do you some good to, I don't know, take your nose out of those old 1970s mechanics and learn some new technology.
Good. We'll go to scene 2. Anytime you're ready.
Hey, I got you something.
What?
It's coffee and donuts, but you had to hurry up and eat it before they catch us.
Thank you.
And I brought you something else.
Good. Have you been in acting for a long time?
About a year.
What have you done so far?
I've done a couple of episodes for Killer Couples as well as Murder by Numbers. I've done a few short films, student films, and then I take classes in between.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Catherine, where are you from?
I'm originally from South Lyon, Michigan, but I moved to Atlanta, Georgia about 3 years ago.
Wow, did acting bring you down?
Yeah, I graduated with a degree in acting at Michigan State University, and a little bit after that I moved down here because of the film industry down here.
Very good. So big change from the north to southeast, and I'm always curious, like when the acting bug bit you.
I've been acting since I was little. It started with like Christmas plays at church, and then like middle school and high school plays, and then I decided to pursue it in college and started acting professionally then. Catherine Schooler.
And where are you from?
Well, I'm from South Lyon, Michigan, but I moved to Atlanta, Georgia about 3 years ago.
Okay. And your age?
I'm 27.
And you're reading for the part of?
Bakery Worker 1.
Okay. Anytime you're ready, you'll read against Julie.
Okay. My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Well, does it even work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The springs broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage that. Is there a time frame?
Yeah, before my grandmother arrives, it was hers.
How is he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good and they can't communicate, always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming. I mean, what?
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they just can't keep up with new technology. Maybe you should take your nose out of those 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
Very good. Scene 2.
Hey, I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Thank you.
I also brought you a little something.
Nice.
Have you done a lot of acting?
I have. I got a degree in acting at Michigan State University, and then I moved down here, and I'm in a web series on YouTube, and I've, done a couple other pilot presentations and things like that.
Did you move here for the acting scene in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. And where were you from in Michigan again?
South Lyon. It's kind of between Detroit and Ann Arbor.
I always ask people from Detroit, though, Buddy's Pizza,
Oh, Buddy's Pizza.
Yes.
Atlanta is not a place for pizza.
No.
It's not.
No. It's not Detroit pizza.
No, I miss my Buddy's Pizza
Yes.
for sure.
So we did a good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Pierre Boulogne-Glavin,
And you are from?
Ackworth, Georgia,
And your age?
21.
And you're reading for the part of?
Bakery Worker 1.
Okay. Anytime you're ready, you'll read against Julie.
My mom says I broke the spring. I think it's just old and rusty.
Well, can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Well, does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Okay, well, your mom was right. The springs broke. You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage it. Is there a time frame?
Before my grandma gets here, it was hers.
Okay, well, how is he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? Trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good, can't communicate, and they're always on their phones. All right, I don't know work on apps or programming or...
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with the new technology. It might do you some good to get your nose out of those 1970s mechanical engineers and learn some new technology.
All right, scene 2.
Okay. I brought you something.
What?
Coffee and donuts.
Thank you.
Hurry up and eat them before we get caught.
Oh my God, thank you.
I also bought you a little something.
Very good. And how long have you been acting?
Since I was a little kid, about 8, started taking acting classes, and then I've been doing short films and some features since.
What do you do during the day? If you're not acting.
I'm a college student, so I study French because that's my minor, and business there, and I have 4 pets that I love. I try to practice piano, but I'm not very good at it.
French because you have a French background. That's your
my
genetics,
heritage.
right? So how far removed from France is your family? How many generations?
Yeah, so my great-grandfather was from Guadeloupe, the French Caribbean, and he had immigrated there from Paris, and then he came over here when he was 11 to New York, and then my grandfather was born here, my mom was born here, and that's where the French heritage comes from.
Great, good heritage.
Very cool.
I'm proud of it.
Great food. They're the gods of cooking.
I agree with you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Pleasure meeting you.
I am here with Sarah. Sarah, are you from Atlanta?
I am actually from Alaska.
Alaska? How long have you been here?
For about 8 months.
8 months. Pursuing acting?
Yes.
Yes, and have you always been interested in the arts?
Yes. I've always loved acting. I always did it in high school and just theater, local. And then actually I moved to Arizona at some point after high school, and then I moved from Arizona to here, and I had really good coaching.
Very good. And what is your favorite genre of movie or play?
I love drama.
Drama? And do you have any certain actors that you really look up to?
Margot Robbie, I think she's really good. She can play like so many diverse roles, which I like that. Sarah Elizabeth Gibbons,
And you're from?
Atlanta, Georgia,
And your age?
22.
And you're reading for?
Bakery role number 1.
Good. Okay. And anytime you're ready.
My mom says I broke the spring, but I think it's just old and rusty.
Can I take a look?
Knock yourself out.
Does it work?
He wouldn't be looking at it if it wasn't working. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, your mom was right. The springs broke. You wanted too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
I think I can manage it. Is there a time frame?
Before my grandmother arrives, it was hers.
How is he supposed to know when your grandma's arriving? I mean, trouble with these kids today, manners are not too good. They can't communicate and always on their phones. I don't work on apps or programming.
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they just don't keep up with the new technology. Might do you some good to get your nose out of the old 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
Good. Okay, scene 2.
I brought you something.
What?
Some coffee and donuts. Hurry up and eat them though, so we don't get caught.
Thank you.
Oh, I also bought you a little something.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you guys.
You did really good.
Thank you.
We had over 200 actors try out for the part of Erika, and in the end, about 20 that could have played the part. Who do you think we chose? We chose Shay Dennison of Santa Monica, California. Shay was a little bit of a risky choice because we had not met her. It was sight unseen to a certain degree. We had had some phone conversations, but she proved to be the right choice. Now on to Charlie. As we mentioned, Charlie, in his 70s, ex-Army Ranger, pretty tough guy. Let's see if you chose who we chose.
What helps you like tap into the emotion of a character? Do you give it a backstory? Do you make up something where they came from, or what?
No, I just determine what kind of personality it should be.
Okay.
And I try to mimic the personality. Dave Moore.
And you're from?
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
And you're reading for the part of?
Retiree, 60s and 70s.
Anytime you're ready.
What can I do for you today, Charlie?
That's Charles. I need to get this bill adjusted. There's no way I use 2,000 gallons of water. I know exactly how much of water I use. Your meter must be broken.
No, Charlie. As we told you last month, we installed a new one. You water your plants every day, and it doesn't take long to use 2,000 gallons.
That's Charles, remember? You had better watch how you're talking to me. And you better not be calling me a liar.
I want you to do that more not as reading it, but just being that person.
Okay.
You're cantankerous and you're pissed off.
Okay, but...
You've lost your wife, you lost everything, you don't like people no more.
Okay.
Okay? More cantankerous.
What can I do for you today, Charlie?
That's Charles. And I need to get this bill adjusted. I know I didn't use 2,000 gallons of water. Your meter must be broken.
No, Charlie. As we told you last month, we installed a new one, and you water your plants every day. It doesn't take long to use 2,000 gallons.
Listen, I said Charles. Don't talk to me that way. You better watch how you talk to me. And don't call me a liar.
Good. Let's do that last line again. Mean it.
That's Charles, remember? And you better watch how you're talking to me. Don't call me a liar.
Good. Good.
Good job.
Good.
My name's Shalyn Lee, and I was involved in the film project. A Carolina Christmas Movie was part 1, season 1 of the film project. I was fortunate enough to see this movie prior to it hitting the theaters. It's a beautiful movie. You're going to love it. It's got some A1 talent that was discovered. Just like you're going to discover Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which we call the Grand Strand, because we've got 60 miles of pristine beach. We're halfway between New York and Florida. We've got year-round weather, and we enjoy a low cost of living. So there's nothing not to like. Resourceful Realty is a company that I have. We help people buy and sell real estate. We also help movie producers find their locations for movies. So sit back, enjoy the journey, and who knows, you might be the next talent found in season 2.
I'm here with Kevin. How are you today, Kevin?
I'm good. Thank you. And you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Where are you from?
Originally New York, living down here in Charlotte, North Carolina, loving it.
Very nice. Glad you're here. Well, being from New York, you know there's a lot of acting up there, but I'm so excited that it's moving down south. What do you think about this project being in your town?
I'm here, ain't I? Kevin Murray.
And where are you from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
And you're reading for what part?
I'm reading for Charlie.
Okay.
Let's
bring that microphone just a little bit more around to him. Good, thank you, yeah. Okay, you're gonna read against Susan, okay?
Okay.
And anytime you're ready.
What can I do for you today, Charlie?
You got to adjust this. It's Charles. Can we start over? I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm going to do it with my glasses on, if you don't mind.
That's fine. Okay, I'll start. What can I do for you today, Charlie?
It's Charles. We have to adjust this bill. There's no way I use 2,000 gallons worth of water. Okay, I know exactly how much water I use, and your meter's broken.
No, Charlie. As we told you last month, we installed a new one. You water your plants every day. It doesn't take long to use 2,000 gallons.
Oh, you better watch how you talk to me, okay? And you better not be calling me a liar.
Good. Thank you very much. Have you done any acting before?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Hello, Richard.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you? And please tell us something we should know about Richard.
He's old.
No.
Okay. Richard is a children's book writer.
Wow, what kind of books? I know children's books, but what's the genre?
The genre is girl power. It's the only book I have, and it is called Cat as a Hat. And it's about a little girl that goes through her day, every day, with her cat on her head. And every adult that comes along tells her, you shouldn't do that. And she ignores them to her benefit.
Well, that is so neat. So being a book writer, you are already used to forming characters and all that. So you just tie that in with your acting.
That's correct. That's correct.
And so as far as you go, what type of roles could you see yourself playing?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe somebody a little older than me, that walks kind of with a shuffle, but I can't seem to get into it.
Well, you're a trip. Well, thank you for your time. That is great, Richard. You keep it up. That's awesome. Thank you.
My name is Richard Lake.
And you are from?
I am from Murrells Inlet, South Carolina.
And you will be reading for the part of?
Store owner.
Okay.
Is it a shop owner?
Yeah, it's shop owner.
Oh, I'm sorry, shop owner. You're
Okay.
right.
No problem.
My
Okay.
wife tells me she's the store something or other, and I thought she was my wife. She says, no, she's one and I'm something else.
Huh?
Got it.
Well, actually, it is the same.
Oh, the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just did that for read purposes.
All right.
But, okay. So anytime you're ready, you'll read against Tammy.
Let me take a look at it. You're right. It is broken. But I can fix it. Well, you know what? Why don't you come down to my new shop and I'll fix you up. I have a new phone there and I'll let you use that until I fix this one.
Good. Good.
The scene takes place in City Hall. The retiree is disputing his current water bill. The retiree is irritated about the bill, however, not a complete jerk.
What can I do for you today, Charlie?
That's Charles. I need to get this adjusted. There is no way that I use 2,000 gallons of water. I know exactly how much water I use. Your meter's broken.
No, Charlie, as we told you last month, we installed a new one. You water your plants every day, and it doesn't take long to use 2,000 gallons.
You better watch how you're talking to me, and you better not be calling me a liar.
Searching for Charlie through Dalton Pictures, we figured we're going to cast in Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach. These are meccas for retirees from the North. We figured we'd have 500 try out for his part, maybe 50 that would be able to play his part. In the end, we didn't have that many. But in this industry, that doesn't matter, as long as you have the right one. And did we have the right one? Who do you think we chose? We chose Richard Lake of Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. Richard had recently moved to Murrells Inlet to retire from Pennsylvania, just as Charlie in the movie had retired and moved to the Southeast. When Richard showed up at the Myrtle Beach casting, we didn't originally have him read for the part of Charlie, we had him read for the part of store owner. But when you're watching these castings and you see someone who's very unique, very talented, or maybe you thought should have gotten a part, don't worry, they may be in another part in the movie. This is one of the reasons that you videotape. When we got back, castings can be very confusing. There's a lot going on. And when you get back and you're able to watch it on monitors and see the castings, you could pick up something different. We found that Richard may be a good fit for Charlie, so we sent him a side. That's what that's called, is a side. It's a read. It's part of the script. He videotaped it on his cell phone, sent it back. We knew we had Charlie. The chemistry between him and Erika had to be just right because, as mentioned before, it's carbon steel on flint. There's always sparks, but that has to also be well choreographed so that it doesn't look cheesy or overdone. And they hit it out of the park. There was something special about Richard, and we didn't find that out until after we started filming. Here you're going to get to see a clip with him and Erika in action.
Does it work?
If it was working, he wouldn't be looking at it. It's not a pawn shop.
Well, looks like your mom is right. The spring is broken.
You wound it too tight, didn't you?
Can you fix it?
Yeah, I should be able to. Do you have a timeline when you get done by?
Before my grandma arrives, it was hers.
Now, how is he supposed to know when your grandmother arrives? Kids these days, they got no manners. They can't communicate, and you're always on your phones.
Speaking of phones, Charlie, actually yours came in today. Should be all fixed for you.
Looks like it's working. You know, it would do you a world of good if you get your nose out of your phone and learn some mechanical skills. Then you wouldn't break your grandmother's clock.
Oh, sorry, Charlie, I don't work on apps.
It's your alarm. Old people these days, they're rude, obnoxious, and think they know everything. Might do you some good to get your nose out of the 1970s popular mechanics and learn some new technology.
She's got you there, Charlie. Hey, actually, on second thought, I'm not going to be able to work on this right now. Can you bring it back in a day or two? Sorry about that.